What's up, sports talkers? Now, in this video, we're gonna be reacting to some comments that Jalen Rose has regarding the firing of Tom Thibodeau. And this is essentially a follow-up to a video I already posted today. So, let's hear what Jalen Rose has to say. Let's get it.
What up, though? In the 30 years I've been involved with the league, I don't believe I've ever done a post about a coach being fired. But I'm going to do one for Tom Thibodeau, somebody I never played for, but I respect the game. He did not deserve to be fired the way he was by the New York Knicks. He led them to the playoffs for the last 5 years. They had 50-win seasons. They made it to the conference finals in the first time in decades. New York is in a frenzy. Fans, celebs, everybody enthusiastic about the Knicks.
So let's pause it right there, sports talkers. So yes, Tom Thibodeau has brought the Knicks to the playoffs 4 or 5 seasons. Yes, he's had 2 50-win teams. But are we supposed to just accept the fact that the team went out so miserably, so sadly, like they didn't have a coach on the sideline? If I'm an owner and I'm paying millions of dollars to a coach, if I lose in the manner that the Knicks lost in, which is, it seems like there's nobody coaching the team, then I have all right to fire the coach. Now let's see what else he has to say.
Yes, you may go get Mike Malone and give him a blank check, and he's won a championship coach in Denver, and I get that. But Tibbs led them to the playoffs for the last 5 years, a couple of 50-win seasons in the first time in forever, and the first conference finals in decades. And for people who are saying he deserved to be fired, here are some of the reasons. That he plays his players too many minutes. As somebody that's averaged 40 minutes in the NBA and that has actually played seasons of 82 games, we now crying about a coach that plays his players heavy minutes?
Yes, Jalen Rose, we criticize in the minutes. Let's think critically here, right? Let's not just say, oh, players can play 40 minutes, that's nothing. It's not just the 40 minutes in a capsule by itself. It's also the lack of minutes for the bench players, the lack of experience for the bench players. While the Knicks bench might not be the greatest players, they are NBA players, right? They put them on the roster. They drafted some. They traded and got some. So why aren't they playing? They're NBA players. There's Cameron Payne on that bench. There's Landry Shamet on that bench. Players that have been role players on good teams in the past, right? These 2 players have been role players on good teams in the past. There's that guy, what's his name? Matt Bride. There's Matt Bride on the bench, right? There's also a few other players that he did not play much during the season. Barely gave them any minutes during the season. How are they going to get experience? How are they going to get better if they're not getting game time, right? The Knicks won 50 games. Are you telling me that all 50 of those games were struggle games where players could not get any minutes in? There are no games that the Knicks dominated and could have spared some minutes to some other players so they can get experience, so that when it gets to the playoffs, these players can be in the game. Come on, Jalen Rose. I mean, the players aren't like the greatest role players on the Knicks, but they are NBA players. And some of them have played big roles as role players on other teams in the past. So let's not say, oh, we're focusing on the minutes. It's not just the minutes that the starters play, it's the lack of minutes that he gives to the bench. And where's this defense that you're talking about?
Also, do y'all realize while Jalen Brunson is actually in New York, it ain't because of the city, it ain't because of the team colors, it ain't because of the owners, the fans. It's because Tibbs has a relationship with his father, Rick Brunson. Tibbs is the reason why Jalen Brunson is in New York. Therefore, the same reason why Mikal Bridges and Josh Hart are in New York.
Jalen Rose, wrong again. The sole reason why Jalen Brunson is in New York right now is because the Dallas Mavericks fumbled Jalen Brunson. They had the chance to sign Jalen Brunson for $55 million, and they decided to wait until the end of the season. And Jalen Brunson went ahead and had a superb second half of the season. He also had a superb playoff run where he led the Dallas Mavericks to the Western Conference Finals. And basically, during this time, Luka Doncic was out for a few rounds of the playoffs. He had an injury at that time. I don't remember the injury, but he was out. Jalen Brunson carried the team during the time he was out. They went to the Western Conference Finals. He's no longer worth $55 million. His value skyrocketed, right? Now, when the season ended, Jalen Brunson was quoted saying that he saw an interview with Mark Cuban, who said, yo, we can pay Jalen Brunson the most, so he's not going anywhere. And during that offseason, they didn't offer him a contract. And New York offered him $100 million. And he went ahead and took that $100 million. So when you're going to come on the internet and say that the reason why Jalen Brunson is in New York is because of Tom Thibodeau, that's wrong. It's not because of Tom Thibodeau. It's not because of his dad. It's none of that. It's because the Dallas Mavericks failed to negotiate a contract with him during the time period that he was there. End of story.
So this idea that, oh my God, he played Jalen Brunson and Derrick Rose too many minutes, so therefore he's a poor coach. Or he challenges his players to play defense. Or his rotation isn't of one that has 10 or 11 players like the Pacers or OKC. You know why his rotation ain't as deep as those guys? Because his bench ain't as good. So New York, this idea that y'all just gonna fire him this year and then win it next year, not gonna be able to do it.
So Jalen Rose, you keep on making a fool of yourself. What do you mean by defense? What defense? What defense is Tom Thibodeau? Tibbs, as they call him. What defense is he coaching? This man hasn't coached defense in probably like 4 or 5 years. What defense is he coaching? Like, what defensive strategy are you seeing on the court? What defense is he challenging these players to play? Because I haven't seen them play any defense. So clearly he's not getting through to them on a defensive level. And I don't see any offensive schemes. All I see is Jalen Brunson holding the ball for 17 to 20 seconds of the shot clock and then passing the ball with 4 seconds left. Passing it to Josh Hart, who now has to do something spectacular or make a great pass. Passing it to Anunoby, who has to either make a shot or make a great play. Where's the coaching? Where's the offensive strategy there? There's none. There's no defensive strategy. I mean, the regular season, they won 50 plus games, 2 seasons straight. But what has this done? This has raised the level of expectation. And he's not meeting the new level of expectation. So you know what that means? The ownership has to get a coach that can meet, or they think can meet, the new expectation. Tom Thibodeau is no longer required. He is surplus to requirements, right? And this idea that the players on New York's bench aren't any good, I 100% disagree. There are some players on the bench that I don't know much of, but there are a few players on the bench. I've seen them play over the years. They've played in big series as role players, so they could have been played more. He did not play these players any at all, or little to none. And then he thrust them in the Eastern Conference Finals because the team is losing. And for me, that's just a recipe for disaster. Not playing these players much minutes all year and then thrusting them in like a high pressure situation to help you save your job, basically. It's not gonna work. So Tom Thibodeau 100% deserved to be fired. Jalen Rose, covering the NBA for 30 years, and you've never spoken up on a coach being fired, and this is the coach that you decided to speak up against getting fired. You must be sniffing something. I'm out, sports talkers.